Welcome back to the channel, y'all. I'm sure by now you probably heard that you can really get a fabulous deal on new construction in the Houston-Galveston area. We're seeing builders are motivated, and y'all, it's like taking candy from a baby. Motivated or not, before you go and jump into the deep end of new construction, there are 4 ugly truths about new construction that you really need to know about. My name is Shari Hensley, and I'm a realtor living and working right here on beautiful Galveston Bay. Today, we're going to take that deep dive and we're going to talk about 4 real and ugly truths about new construction in the Houston-Galveston area. Y'all, make sure you stick around to the end because we're going to tell you 3 ways you can negotiate financing like a boss with these home builders. Okay, y'all, well, let's jump in. Ugly truth number 1. When you compare the median earned income in the Houston-Galveston area, new construction is sometimes just out of reach for some people. Sometimes it can be unaffordable. We've already got a high-priced housing market, but in addition to that new construction for most buyers, well, it just may be out of their budget. Y'all, this isn't about builders being greedy. Builders are seeing the same pinch we're seeing when we're buying gas or groceries or clothes. Not to mention there are challenges from supply issues and land cost and shortages of workers. Builders just can't make a profit at reasonable prices. According to a research economist, it's really tough for builders in Texas to make a profit building houses under $300,000. These prices make the new construction market really challenging for entry-level buyers. A custom home builder noted how many of his colleagues are seeing more and more canceled contracts due to buyers not being able to qualify for their homes. He describes how new buyers have very little wiggle room with putting their home under contract. Many new homes are starting at $425,000 and up, with interest rates hovering around 6%, and fewer may qualify. Many American households are being priced out of the new home market. Now, I want to talk about why we see new construction typically 20% more expensive than existing or resale homes. So for a buyer to be able to afford the new median new construction home price in the Houston-Galveston area, their annual income must be at least $79,000. That annual income requirement prices out a big chunk of the Houston-Galveston population. Now, you might think that might yield a great home, but it's really not what we're seeing. Next, I want to talk about ugly truth number 2. Now, the majority of new homes are on teeny tiny lots. These homes are so close together that the neighbors' kids might think they can jump from roof to roof. And I love the landscaping and trees and oversized lots on a resale, but really, who doesn't? What we're seeing in the greater Houston-Galveston area is that most builders offer these teeny tiny yards and these amazing master plan communities. Now, when you hear master plan community, we're talking about amenities and green spaces and golf cart paths and playgrounds and lakes and maybe even an amazing lagoon like Lago Mar. The big drawback for some people is that you don't realize that most of the homes are on a small lot, maybe 1/10 of an acre. Maybe the front and the backyard are sodded, and maybe you have a couple of small twig-like trees and a starter landscape package with 6 or 8 shrubs and a bed lined with edging. Now, really, this is where an ugly truth is subjective, because you might very well like a small yard. In fact, y'all comment below and tell me, are you a small yard person or a big yard person? Tell me about it. But if you want new construction with land and trees, you're most likely going to need a larger than average budget. It's not totally impossible to find a new construction home with trees and lands. And speaking of master plan communities, ugly truth number 3. This is another expense that you should definitely count on for the rest of your ownership, and that is having an expensive HOA in a master plan community. It's going to come with new construction in a master plan community. The more amenities, the more expensive the HOA. Y'all, nothing's free, and not many people are going to brag on the incredible benefits of an HOA. What you normally hear is that they basically provide maintenance of the community amenities. There's a lot of truth to that, but whether you love it or hate it, you really just need to be aware that it could be an extra expense as you, the homeowner, buys into when you purchase into that master plan community. Next, I want to talk about ugly truth number 4. This one is extremely important, and more than likely it's going to cost you thousands of dollars when you move in. When you talk about property taxes, Texas has the 7th highest property taxes in the nation. Now, in our defense, we don't have a state income tax, and the government needs funds to operate. So this ugly truth is a very big deal, right? Okay, y'all, I want you to listen up. The way the system is designed to work, good or bad, is that when you buy a home, you begin paying and owing the property taxes the day you own it. You shouldn't have to owe the property taxes before then, right? Well, unfortunately, this is what happens when you buy a new construction, and it's an ugly truth. And since we're talking about a brand new home, more than likely when you closed, it was probably being taxed on just the lot or the land value for the year before you bought it. So given the fact that it's probably a pitifully small amount of value, truly you're talking about a value of maybe like $40,000. Okay, here's the kicker that only happens with new construction. The county assessor is going to change the value of that home from $40,000 to, let's say, $700,000. The problem is the value change is pending the property tax bill being updated, and the tax assessor bills don't come out to October. So if you go to closing and the builder pays his share of the property taxes based on that $40,000 of just the lot value, but now the home is there and you're closing on it. So let's say it's February. So December rolls around and now you owe property taxes on a $700,000 house instead of that $40,000 lot. It may be pure sticker shock if you think the taxes are going to be based on that $40,000. The county, I have to admit, is a bit slow to update and will tax you based on the value of the home and the lot. So you may miss it the first year, but I got to tell you, they're going to catch up with the values and they are going to include the home and the lot. So let's just say the property tax rate is 3%, and that's a pretty common rate in the Houston-Galveston area. So a 3% tax rate on a $40,000 lot is $1,200. The builder owns it and he pays his $1,200. Once the county appraiser comes out and he sees your beautiful improvements and your new home, and now it's valued at $700,000. 3% tax on $700,000, well, it's $21,000. That's your new value, not just the lot. So you can see how that can really be a chunk of change to have to shell out. Now, the good news is, and I highly recommend it, is that you can negotiate the value of that escrow on the taxes that the lender's going to escrow. Ask them to escrow the greater amount in your escrow account. And you, my friend, have averted ugly truth number 4. Here's the caveat, y'all. You need to use a realtor who knows how this works. I want you to know this whole new construction gig has some pretty ugly truths about it, doesn't it? Shouldn't there be something you can do to help yourself here? Well, I'm so very glad you asked, because what I wanted to tell you, those 3 negotiating tips that I mentioned earlier in the video. Now, new construction builders are very motivated right now, and they can negotiate things your average seller really can't. You have to navigate those interest rates. Well, the builders can help with that. Are you ready? I'm going to tell you the 3 tips. Number 1, the builders can provide their own financing with special negotiated terms. They may own a mortgage company or have an agreement with the mortgage company. So that means you can haggle over that interest rate a little bit. Number 2, builders can pay closing costs, or they can pay to buy down your interest rate. Here's the thing. If you want to use your own lender, you will need to see what they offer. And number 3, a lot of builders' lenders are offering a free finance within 18 months or 2 years. So if during that time rates go down, and Lord, I think we all hope they do. So if during that time, if rates go down, and I think we all hope they do, you can refi. So there you have it. 3 different ways builders can help you with that ugly side of financing and buying your new home. Y'all, I hope you found this video helpful. And if you did, please let me know in the comments. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.